Inside a U.S. Air Force mission to airdrop aid to Gaza, the United States Air Force has started deploying massive quad-jet C-17s to airdrop aid into Gaza. This comes at a time when the leaders of the United States are becoming increasingly concerned about the humanitarian situation in Gaza. According to the United States Central Command, CENTCOM, on March 17, 2 United States Air Force C-17s dropped approximately 28,800 meals and 34,500 bottles of water over northern Gaza. This was the first time that 2 ships of the United States Air Force C-17s had dropped supplies over the enclave, as part of the United States' efforts to strengthen its airlift presence in the region that is assigned to Air Forces Central, AFCENT. A C-17 aircraft from the United States also carried out an airdrop alongside C-130s on March 13 and March 15. According to States is going to more considerable lengths. Recent events have resulted in a flotilla of United States Army ships departing from a port in Virginia. These ships will then establish a complicated, improvised port off the coast of Gaza after crossing the Atlantic Ocean. Joint Logistics Over the Coast, JOTS, is the name given to the construction of a floating pier and a causeway that is approximately 1,800 feet long and attached to the coast for around 1,000 United States troops. The aid will be transported from the pier to the causeway using vessels and barges on the water. The aid will subsequently be transported into Gaza by cars that will depart from the causeway. On the other hand, according to the Pentagon, that procedure won't take place for approximately 60 days. During this interim period, the United States is carrying out airdrops and exerting pressure on Israel to permit additional land pathways of assistance supplies into Gaza via truck. C-17s have a significantly bigger cargo capacity than C-130s, which can only carry about the same amount of aid as a truckload. The C-17s from the Air Force arrived in AFCENT from Joint Base Charleston in recent days. However, a United States official failed to reveal the number of C-17s that are currently stationed in the Middle East or whether further C-17s are planning to come. According to the source, however, there has been an increase in the number of aircrews that are qualified to carry out airdrops. Even though the United States has not identified the origin of the C-17 missions that have been conducted over Gaza, there were already some C-17s within the region. Flights of United States C-130s have been departing from Jordan, the country that initiated the airdrop operation. At the beginning of February, before the airdrops began, Lieutenant General Alexis G. Grinkwich, the commander of the Air Force's Central Command, was accompanied by Air and Space Forces magazine as he traveled around the region. He stated, "They are great partners. With all of the stress that exists in the region, it is always vital to be able to have conversations that are open and honest about the way forward and how we are going to work together in areas where we can collaborate." Over the territories of Gaza, hundreds of other packages were successfully dropped by multiple planes that took off from Jordan, which is located just east of Israel. However, the news of a fatal airdrop accident that occurred in northern Gaza on Friday overshadowed the events. As Israel is under increasing pressure to permit a major increase in ground supplies, aid has been sent in this manner by several countries, including the United States of America, Jordan, Egypt, France, the Netherlands, and Belgium. CBS News was informed by officials from Gaza's Ministry of Health, which is administered by Hamas, as well as an eyewitness that 5 people were murdered when the parachute of at least one assistance delivery failed to deploy correctly and a parcel dropped on them. It was approximately 11:30 a.m. local time, 4:30 a.m. Eastern, when the incident took place, and the victims were located in the Al-Shadi refugee camp, which is located in the northern part of Gaza. It was the first time that a broadcaster from the United States had been on board one of the planes being used to carry aid to Gaza. CBS News was on board a United States military C-130 cargo plane as it took off from Jordan. This was the final operation of the day to deliver aid to Gaza. On Friday, a defense official from the United States told CBS News that an initial evaluation suggested that the American airdrop did not cause the casualties that occurred on the ground. However, the official insisted that additional study was necessary. After taking off at approximately 1:20 p.m. local time, the United States C-130 spent almost 1 hour flying straight west over Israel on its way to northern Gaza. After banking out over the Mediterranean, it fell to a height of 3,000 feet over Gaza City, which had been the largest population center in the Palestinian territories for a long time, but has now succumbed to destruction. The enormous plane's rear doors opened, displaying the destruction that occurred below, as well as the white crest of waves that had been crashing against Gaza's Mediterranean coastline. After cutting the cords that were holding the parcels in place, the crew from the United States Air Force released them so that they might slide over the edge and their parachutes would immediately deploy. A total of 16 packages, each containing 720 ready-to-eat meals, roughly 2 tons of rice, wheat, powdered milk, and dates were being transported by the United States Coast Guard aircraft C-130 on Friday. It was the 4th airdrop that the United States has carried out this week, and all of them were geared at delivering some kind of relief to Palestinians who are starving as a result of the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas, which is now in its 6th month. On Saturday, CENTCOM announced on social media that a 5th airdrop had delivered an additional 41,400 meal equivalents in the United States, as well as 23,000 bottles of water to the northern region of Gaza. It was the first drop of water to come from the United States. There has been no indication that the airdrops are anywhere close to being sufficient to fulfill the urgent requirements on the ground, and this includes authorities in Washington, as well as assistance organizations that are still attempting to work in Gaza. The airdrops from the United States of America started on Saturday, one day after President Biden shared the plans. Israeli security forces opened fire on crowds of famished people who were rushing to seize food from a truck convoy that was under Israeli protection last week, resulting in the deaths of more than 100 Gazans. He did this following the incident, which occurred when Israeli security forces opened fire on the crowds. However, according to doctors in Gaza who spoke with CBS News, the majority of those who were brought in dead or injured suffered bullet wounds. The Israel Defense Forces stated that most of the casualties were killed in a stampede. In the context of the mission, the airdrops have been characterized as a last resort. In comparison to trucks, planes are more expensive, need more fuel and more workers, and provide a significantly lower amount of relief according to some estimates, as much as 75% less. A tacit acknowledgement of those facts and a seemingly frustrated response to Israel's slow approval process for additional aid via land, President Biden announced an emergency mission to open a new sea route for aid during his State of the Union address on Thursday. The United States military is scheduled to oversee the construction of a temporary pier on Gaza's coast to expedite the delivery of additional aid. On the other hand, it is anticipated that it will take a few weeks to be ready. Thanks for watching. Kindly like and subscribe for more videos. In the comments section of the post, please tell me how many you discovered.